Hello, this is Brett from SurvivalComms.
Today on the bench I have a special treat for you. This is a Johnson Transceiver Tester, and this is a legacy piece of test equipment intended for servicing CB radio equipment. Now, at the time this was built, it predated 40-channel CB radios. I bought this 5 years ago at the Orlando Hamcation. I paid $1 for it. It was in someone's junk pile because I thought it looked neat. I've had it on my shelf for several years now and haven't done a whole heck of a lot with it. Well, I decided to pull it off and fool around with it. I bought a manual for it from these folks here at Vintage Manuals. And my intent for making this video is to show you how to operate one of these pieces of equipment based upon the instructions in the manual, in case you ever come across one of these at a ham fest or a garage sale. It's still a useful piece of equipment for servicing CB radios. This piece of equipment is powered by one internal 9-volt battery, and this is the one that I pulled out of it, which has no evidence of corrosion whatsoever. And this is the exact specified battery in the manual for this piece of equipment, so this was probably the original battery. This piece of equipment is intended to be used just below CB channel 1 to just above CB channel 23, and it's capable of performing the following tests. It'll check RF power into either an antenna or into its internal dummy load. It will check antenna SWR. It also will check AM modulation. It has an S meter connection to allow this to function as an RSSI meter. It also functions as a field strength meter and allows the capability to use an earphone here to monitor your signal. It also has a fully functional signal generator and a crystal checker, and requires a crystal to be placed into this socket here. This piece of equipment also is an audio generator generating a 1 kilohertz tone. Now, the signal generator and audio generator both will output to either the SO239 here or to these two RCA jacks down here. The radio we're going to be testing today is this Realistic TRC 414. It's a legacy garden variety 40 channel AM only CB radio. This radio was given to me by a friend who found it in the garbage after it failed to sell at someone's garage sale. You can see they wanted $3 for it. The first measurement we'll discuss with this piece of equipment is how to measure the RF output power into the internal dummy load. The first step you'll do is to flip the switch, the yellow switch, into the dummy antenna position. This routes the RF from the input of the piece of equipment to the internal dummy load. The internal dummy load is rated for 12 watts for a short period of time. It's not designed for a long duration key down, so keep that in mind. The second switch you're going to want in the RF power position. The selector switch you're going to want in the RF power SWR position, and the meter adjust will be all the way clockwise. Now we'll go ahead and hit our push to talk, and you can see we're just under 5 watts of RF power into the dummy load. The next measurement we're going to perform with this equipment is measuring antenna SWR. So our antenna for this test is going to be this mismatch load that I've built, which should give us a 2-to-1 SWR. And we attach that to our antenna port. Take our yellow switch, place it in the antenna position, leave our gray switch in RF power, mid-range your meter adjustment, leave your selector switch in RF power SWR, hit your push to talk and adjust to the limit of the SWR range on this meter, which is 10. D-key. Flip the switch to SWR. Put your push to talk. The next measurement we're going to discuss is how to measure your relative RF power output into an antenna rather than the dummy load. So we'll start out with our yellow switch in the dummy position, our gray switch in the RF power position. We'll have our antenna connected here. We'll take and move our adjustment all the way clockwise, and we'll set it for the RF power SWR selection here. Hit our push to talk, and we've got 5 watts. Now take your adjustment and back it off to keep from pegging the meter. Place our switch into the antenna position. Hit your push to talk and adjust this for your measured power output that you had into your dummy load. Next, we're going to measure modulation with this equipment. Go ahead and we'll do it off air. So place your switch in your dummy antenna. Leave this switch in RF power. Take your meter adjustment, move it all the way clockwise. Take your selector switch and move it to percentage of modulation. Now, take your push to talk. You want to press your calibration button in. And then you have your modulation calibration potentiometer here. And you want to adjust that unmodulated for full scale. Now we're ready to check our modulation. 4, 4, 4, 4. The next feature we will discuss is the S meter setting. The S meter setting is a setting to allow this meter to operate as a signal strength meter. Like if you wanted to tie this into a radio to use it as an S meter, but it requires modification of the equipment. The manual does have different schematics and ways to interface it with older 23-channel Johnson products. You do have to build a circuit, tie it into the radio equipment itself, and then take a couple of pin plugs and attach it to the 200 microamp meter movement here. This is something that most of us aren't going to be doing. I'm not going to be doing it, but it's just a feature of this piece of equipment. This piece of equipment is also capable of operating as an RF field strength meter. An RF field strength meter is a very simple piece of equipment that measures the relative strength of an RF energy field. A field strength meter can be used for many different tasks. We'll talk, for example, about one, which is probably the most common use, which is comparing antennas to one another or determining the radiation pattern of an antenna. You can measure the field strength of the antenna in one direction and then see if the antenna exhibits directional characteristics, how the field strength of the antenna will change in one particular direction over another. However, you have to understand that this piece of equipment is very much affected by its position against your body, its location of the antenna. So if you can minimize these variables, you can actually make a very effective comparison. I used a field strength meter to compare the Abri antenna in a previous video to other types of handheld radio antennas. And if you want to go back and check that out, there's a card up here for that. This field strength meter, much like the military ME61, is capable of listening to the audio in an AM mode from that transmitter that you're testing. One thing to remember is when we talk about plugging in an earphone, we're talking about this sort of 1960s UN type of earphone here, which is a piezoelectric earphone. Your regular earphone that works in your cellular telephone or something of that nature will not function correctly in this, but one of these right here, which are very inexpensive, will function just fine in something like this. If you wanted to listen to the audio, you would just plug it in the monitor jack here and place this in your ear, and you can pick up the audio in an AM mode only, of course. To use this as a field strength meter, extend the antenna, place your selector switch into the field strength position, and then go ahead and set your meter movement as low as possible to keep from pegging the meter. Then take your transmitter that you're fixing to test, key it up, and you can see our field strength indication here. And this is being held below the level of this table with a handheld radio. As we raise it up, you can see it increases quite a bit. You can also increase the sensitivity of the field strength meter by utilizing this control here, and you can see how my body being in proximity to this affects the readings of the meter, which is what I was talking about. So if you pay attention to the location of nearby objects and keep all of your variables as consistent as possible, it's a very effective tool for comparing antennas to one another or determining, again, the directional characteristics of an antenna. One really cool feature of this piece of test equipment is that when you plug a crystal into it, it becomes a single frequency signal generator. This is a channel 20 crystal, 27.205 megahertz. We have it plugged into the crystal holder. We have our switch, our yellow switch, down to dummy antenna. This switch, it doesn't matter which position it's in. This control is going to control our gain. And then we take our selector switch and we place it into signal generator crystal. Now when we go ahead and turn it on, you can see that we've got power and we can adjust our gain of our signal generator here. And now we have an audio generator as well, which generates a 1 kilohertz tone. And you can see that here. Power output of the signal generator as measured is negative 70.7 decibel milliwatts. The amount you can vary it with the potentiometer is approximately 1 dB. Unfortunately, the signal generator isn't super precise. It's off by 1.85 kilohertz. Now the signal generator in this piece of equipment is fairly strong. Minus 70 decibel milliwatts is a strong signal. Now let's say we wanted to test the weak signal performance of a radio. What we can do is we can use an outboard adjustable attenuator to do so. This will turn and adjust all the way to 120 dB of attenuation. And any of these you buy, you don't have to buy a Gucci one like this. You can get an expensive one. But let's say we've got our signal here, and you can see we reduce it by 10 dB, then 20 dB, then 30 dB, etc., and so on and so forth. Another function of this piece of equipment is functioning as a crystal checker. Now, it tells you in the manual that it will not determine if the crystal is on frequency or not, but will let you know that the crystal is functioning correctly. The way we perform this test is go ahead and have our signal generator turned on, adjust it all the way, full scale, and then merely disconnect the crystal. And if you see a slight change in meter, or the meter movement move backwards like you just saw, it means that this crystal is functioning, but not necessarily on frequency. This piece of equipment is capable of functioning as a standalone audio generator. The way we use that is take your selector switch and place it in the audio generator position. You have the audio generator terminal here on this RCA jack, and we'll just plug this into an oscilloscope. And then just go ahead and use your switch, turn it to audio generator, and we're generating our signal. And here is our audio generator in action. Output of the audio generator is 80 millivolts into a 600 ohm load. In closing, many of you may ask, what good is a legacy piece of test equipment like this? Well, you just saw that it will work with modern equipment to a certain degree. If someone's a CB radio collector, this would be a fantastic thing to have with you at a hamfest, because you could use it for baseline testing to determine the serviceability of equipment that's being sold as being functional. There's a lot of cool things you can do with something like this, and if you got any questions, put them in the comments below. I hope this helps. This is Brett from SurvivalComms. Till next time.